Good.
We just lost you, Paul. Good evening, everybody. I'll take over for him when it happens here. Paul's mic just cut out. Is it working? Nope, still not yet. Listen, welcome to another episode of the Bat Around here. There you go.
The first spot. Good evening, everybody. Mike cuts out. That's how this show and this season is going right now. Not this show, but this season is going right now. Orioles baseball. Feel the tragic. Today's show brought to you by Help My Gambling Problem. If you or a loved one has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. That's 1-800-GAMBLER or visit helpmygamblingproblem.org for free confidential services. Today's show also brought to you by Warnken Law. When you need results in Baltimore, you don't play small ball. If you've been hurt in a crash, call 443-RESULTS or visit Warnken Law. That's 443-RESULTS or warnkenlaw.com. Yeah, the Orioles suck, man.
There's no way to sugarcoat
it. And they shouldn't, but they do. And Trevor Rogers has given up 10 runs in his last two starts, covering 9 2/3 innings. Shane Baz has been anything but impressive. Kyle Bradish shows glimpses every start, but then has that one inning where he can't seem to get off get out of the inning. Bassett was fine the other day, but he walked 4 in 5 shutout innings. The starting pitching has been mediocre. Sometimes it's so funny because going into last Sunday, the starting rotation had been really good all week. Then this week they've been middling at best. The bullpen's been okay, but the offense is a huge problem for this team. And you figure you added 36 home runs from Taylor Ward, who had his first home run today. You added 38 home runs from Pete Alonso, who has 2 on the year. Gunner's shoulder impingements behind him. He's got 7. Nobody's hitting the ball out of the ballpark. Nobody is walking with any kind of consistency. Nobody's hitting with any kind of consistency, and they're all striking out. 48 strikeouts in a 4-game series against the Cleveland Guardians. And Zach, I tweeted this last night. I said this has to be a record for ineptitude, and it was. It was the worst performance by the heart of the Orioles order in the history of the franchise. In last night's game, when they struck out 16 times, their 3, 4, 5 hitters, Pete Alonso, Dylan Beavers, who was hitting cleanup for whatever reason, and Colton Cowser, who was hitting 5th for whatever reason, combined to go 0 for 12 with 11 strikeouts.
Yeah.
It is unwatchable baseball from this ball club. They went 2-5 this past week, and their 2 wins required 4+ run comebacks in the 7th inning and beyond on Monday and on Friday. The team is not playing
I can kind
well.
of touch to that. Why? I mean, so I just tweeted it right after the game today. So this is concluding today's game. The Orioles are 9 for 66 with runners in scoring positions in innings 1 through 4. They cannot jump out to a lead. They're constantly playing from behind. It's easy to kind of blame the pitchers when you look at it in the grand scheme of things. But when you have constant opportunities to take a lead in the first, second, third inning, and you just don't, that micro mistake by the pitcher now looms freaking huge because they have 0 runs on the board. So they're hitting 142 in innings 1 through 4, runners in scoring position. It's league worst. And they have a bottom 5 amount of chances. So they're not giving themselves a chance to score. And then when they do, they don't score. And I said it's a systematic failure right now. So I wanted to look deeper into that. Just innings 1 through 3 alone, right? Just a third of the game. They're hitting 181 as a team. 181. You look at a runners in scoring position and just that 1 through 3rd. I did the first 4 when I tweeted it. Just the first 3 innings. They're hitting 091. 091 in the first 3 innings. They're 4 for 44. That's not including today. So technically, they're 4 for 47 because they were 0 for 3 today. So what's that? About 085 maybe, 080 maybe. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
And look, I'm a homer, and I'm always positive about this team, but that stat is pathetic to me. What's wild to me, though, when you start to look at innings 5 through 7, they're hitting 286 with runners in score position. That's 7th best. And they did more again today. I can't see what the numbers are today compared to against everybody else. And then when you go to innings 8 and 9, they're hitting 323 with runners in scoring position, which is 8th best. Why? Why do you have to wait until you have to play catch up until you want to be an offense that knows what the hell they're doing? Why can't you do it early? Mm-hmm. And I started, like you and I were talking right before the show here. I started looking at the pitches that they're seeing with runners in scoring position in these counts early on, innings 1 through 3. They're seeing 50% changeups or curveballs and immediately going 0-1 and immediately going 0-2. You know they've only seen 4 pitches in a 3-0 count runners in scoring position this year in innings 1 through 3?
That's insane.
4.
That's insane.
Yeah, so every time they've had 47 at-bats right now with runners in scoring position early in the game. They've gone down 0-1 in 30 of them. 30 of them. So like you're immediately in a hole. You go 0-2 already in 22 of them. Like you're destined.
That's almost
fail.
half. That's almost half.
And then you go late into the ball game. They've gotten how many they got here? 65 at bats. They go 1-0 in 17 of them. I mean, you're already ahead late in the game. They can't hit a freaking curveball, and I think that's all it is. The starting rotations that we're seeing have good off speeds, change up, curveballs. They can't freaking hit them. What do most relievers have? Pretty good fastballs. What are they hitting right now? Late in the game, pretty good fastballs. Mm-hmm. I have no answer for it. You better figure out. You spent a frick ton of money on that machine that will give you exactly who's pitching and what they throw, and you get to see it, and you can't freaking hit it. Maybe try something else.
It's confounding to me. I tweeted this earlier today. Pete Alonso is being paid $31 million a year from this ball club. 5 years, $155 million. He has struck out 27 times in 80 at-bats this year. Mm-hmm. 27 times in 80 at-bats this year. That is unfathomable to me for him to strike out that much. Gunnar, you can tell when Gunner's starting to get hot, and I think that Gunner's about to turn it on here. But his swing decisions are terrible.
Yeah, Gunner's been piss poor. I'm not even going to sugarcoat that. Gunner's been piss poor.
And the only guy in the lineup to take with any kind of consistency is Taylor Ward. He had a little bit of a mini slump there earlier in the week, but he seems to have turned it around. Smashed that 3-run homer today. Nice to see him finally barrel one up at 108, 109 miles an hour. Yeah. Basayo, no clue what's going on. Colton Cowser, no clue what's going on. Kobe Mayo, as soon as he started to look like he was heating up, and like he had 3 balls hit over 106 miles an hour in a game the other day, he looks again like he has no clue what's going on. Blaze can't hit.
Yeah.
Blaze can't hit. The only guy that can hit is Taylor Ward and Jeremiah Jackson, and Jeremiah Jackson got his first walk of the season today. You don't have anybody taking quality at bats outside of Ward. You have rookies in Beavers and Mayo. Mayo's not a rookie, but he might as well be. And Basayo trying to figure it out on the fly. You have infielders playing the outfield. You have a third baseman playing second base. And look, Jeremiah Jackson's actually been really good at second base. I'll give him all the credit in the world there. But and then we call up the ghost of DJ Stewart and Jonathan Rodriguez to play right field. At this point, I would much like that guy is what 0 for 9 with 7 strikeouts. At this point, I would much rather see Enrique Bradfield up here, at least giving you good defense. And if he does happen to get on base, he's going to make a pitcher think about things. Mm-hmm. Right now, this team is not doing anything right. And like I said, there are 2 wins this week were dramatic comeback wins.
And they actually lead the league in comeback wins. It's what, 5 or 6?
It's something like that.
But you can't. It's not sustainable offense. You got to get early leads.
Technically, it's a comeback win if you go down 1-0 in the first inning. You know.
Fair.
So like, it just has not been good baseball. It's not watchable baseball. I just want to see.
It's not watchable to the 7th inning.
Yeah. I mean,
go do something else.
Anytime you know that a lefty's on the mound, you know that they're not going to win.
Mm-hmm.
They faced their first lefty starter of the entire season on Thursday, and he took a no-hitter into the 9th inning.
Yeah. I mean, that guy is pretty good, but I'm not making that much of an excuse on it.
And yeah, he's been really great to start this season. But you can't get a hit for 8 innings off of him? And then you get to the 9th inning, and somehow Pete Alonso misses a game-tying 3-run homer by 6 inches for an RBI double. And then Samuel Basayo gets robbed of what would have been a game-tying 2-run single. Like the team has that's the one thing I can say that's great about them. They have a hell of a lot of fight. They do not give up. There's no point in any game where it's looked like they've given up. But they're just not fighting back until it's too late most of the time.
Well, they're not doing anything until they're down, which makes them look like they fight. It's mind-boggling to me how they just wait. And it's like, but it's also, I mean, they're being pitched completely differently, and it's because starters have that third, fourth pitch. These guys are clueless up there. And you and I have talked. I mean, maybe they are getting too much information. I mean, information's a cool thing. I mean, sometimes it's nice to know what's coming and what guys' tendencies are. But I think you really can look back at what year did we play Kansas City? Was it 23 or 24? 24, right? Yeah, because Texas won in 23.
Yeah, 24.
24. I could have told you what was coming from the stands, based on that's how predictive Kansas City was going into that series. But the one thing that nobody took into consideration was a Hall of Fame catcher sitting back there and swapped the whole thing up. Nothing. They were, I think it was, I remember looking at it, it was like 70% first pitch fastballs, and they threw like 10 of them in that game, in that series. And it was incredible. I mean, Salvi just flipped everything. And that's where too much information can hurt you sometimes. Because now what you're doing is you're watching first pitch curveball. That's probably a hanger. Sit right down the middle because you're waiting on fastball. It's, I don't know. I really know. Somebody asked me, like, what is it? Is it the players? Is it the coaches? Is it Mike Elias? I don't know. I don't know. You've been 3 sets of coaches. Can you continually keep blaming them? You've got a fairly good amount of new players, obviously minor league guys too. You telling me that everybody just stinks all at once? Like, you've got guys that are proven in this league that just aren't doing it. And Mike Elias has never stepped foot in the box. Like, I think everybody deserves blame, obviously. I don't know. We just want to put our finger on something and say this is the reason and it's going to fix itself, but is it?
Well, I'll tell you, man. They're going for a series win against Arizona on Wednesday. It's a day game, 12:35 game. Arizona, everybody's looking to get out of town. And Craig Alvarez starts Blaze Alexander in center, Jonathan Rodriguez in right, Weston Wilson in left, Sam Huff behind the plate. I looked at that lineup and said, this is the worst lineup I've seen in about 4 years.
Today was probably second worst.
In games where you're trying to salvage a split and trying to win a series. And I look at these lineups, and I look at the fact that you're 20 games in, and I'm like, there's no... I cannot imagine that Craig Alvarez is crafting this lineup and saying, this is what I'm going with. I can't imagine that that's the case.
No, because we've seen this before. It's not like it's new.
It's not, and it's not a recipe for winning baseball games. So I'm sitting there and I'm watching this lineup, and that was when I was finally like, I've been fighting it for years. Like, no, the manager makes the lineup. The manager makes it. No.
I think they do in most organizations. Mike
Elias and Sig Mejdal make this lineup.
Yeah.
They make this lineup. And sure enough, the Orioles lost that game on Wednesday because they had an infielder in Weston Wilson playing left field. He goes back on that ball, and he's scared that he's going to run into the wonky wall out there, and it bounces off his glove. Then he has, somebody called it a flop. I think that the wall just got up on him, and he saw it, and he was freaked out that he was going to smash his face, and like it was it's not as close as I thought it was type of fall.
Yeah.
It was embarrassing. It was embarrassing to see the lineup, to see the effort put out to try and win a series, and then you saw it again today, and it's like, why aren't you trying to win these games? There's no way that you started the guys that you started on Wednesday and today and thought, we have a good shot to win this game. And
it's like, I understand you want to give some guys some breaks. I would love, and I wish I knew exactly what games were always punt lineups. I would love to see their record after a punt lineup to see if they even win anyway. Like, if the rest even works. Would love it. And speaking of rest, here's a good comment from Kim. Zach Paul, thoughts on starters not being extra sharp due to the extra day of rest between starts? I get why they're doing it. Nope, the comment came in. But unfortunately, injury risk exists regardless. What are your thoughts?
Let's see. Sometimes I have to read it. Thoughts on the starters not being sharp due to extra day of rest between starts.
It's a good question. That's why I figured we should talk about it.
It is fair. It's fair because if these guys have spent their entire careers pitching on 5 days rest, and now they've got that extra day of rest, but it's not like they've been going with a 6-man rotation. They've had the off days, and then they flip some things around, and I still don't know. Like, if Dean Kramer was going to be up here to take over Zach Eflin's spot, then why did you give him 2 more starts in Norfolk before he did it? You know, like I don't understand that. Just call him up and have him skip that first start in have him make that first start here. You know, like I don't understand it. I don't know what goes into that, but you know, they get paid all that money and I don't. So I just get to sit here and bitch about it once a week. I think I think that there is something to that. I think there is something to that because you're used to a regimen and a routine, and when you get knocked off of that routine, it makes it difficult to get back into that routine. And even if it's a new season, and this is like it's still muscle memory will take over at some point, and maybe the muscle memory just is taking longer to take over because they've had so many off days and so many injuries and different scenarios pop up where they have to skip starts. And I know that with a guy like Kyle Bradish, you want to limit his innings because he's coming off Tommy John surgery, but maybe you can't handle him that way. But yeah. I'm also not a sports psychologist. You know, I just play one on this show, so I can't pretend to know if that's a real issue. But I wouldn't be surprised if that turns out to be the case.
So I'll read you some career stats. Trevor Rogers has a 3.87 in 28 games where he's had 6+ days extra rest. Now, 5 days, he's about a 3.66. 4 days, he's at a 3.93. So fairly good. He likes the rest. Bradish, 4 days rest, 3.75. 5 days rest, 4.11. 6 days rest, he's got a 2.29 in 16 starts. Here's where it gets fun. Shane Baz, 4.70 on 4 days rest, 3.38 on 5, and a 5.80 on 6. Goes back to possibly talking about your routine. Mm-hmm. Chris Bassett here, he's got a 4.02 on 4 days rest, 3.5 on 5 days on 94 starts, and then 43 starts in his career on 6+. He's got a 3.4. Again, I think you could probably point your finger at analytics. That somebody probably saw that and said, let's get these guys 1 extra day rest, and it's blowing up in their face.
Well, Chris Bassett, though, he's 37 years old.
Yeah.
And he's the guy knows how to pitch. And I'm not saying these other guys don't know how to pitch, but he kind of knows how to handle himself, how to prepare for his starts, and he probably knows what to do because he said it's been 43 starts on 6 days rest. He probably knows how to keep his body ready, and maybe it's you throw a couple extra pitches on the day after you have your bullpen. I don't know. Maybe you throw extra pitches a day of your bullpen to keep your arm fresh. I don't know what it is, but for Bassett, that doesn't surprise me. With the ERA being well above 5 for Baz, I think that shows you somebody who's used to being on going every 5th day. You know, and these other guys, it's not terrible. And for Bradish, 16 starts, sub 3 on 6 days rest. Yeah. I mean
that's good.
So, so then you really don't know what the deal is with him, and his stuff looked nasty on Wednesday, the first few innings, and all of a sudden the wheels just came off with him, you know. And then Dean Kramer and Sam Basayo are just never on the same page.
No,
it seems like. I don't know if Dean actually likes throwing to him. I have no idea, but I don't know, man. They don't pay me enough for me to be able to tell you exactly what's going on with this team, why they've been so bad. But it's got to change. And I keep telling myself it's only April. My entire life they've never played well in Cleveland. The only time they've ever played well in Cleveland was the '96 ALDS. Otherwise, they go there and this kind of happens every time. Same thing happens in Kansas City. Makes me nervous. But the good news is they should be getting Adley and O'Neill back for the Kansas City series. Hopefully, they were doing base running drills today. I keep wanting to call Cleveland Stadium Jacobs Field, but that's not what it's the same field, but I don't know what it's called now. But I don't know, man. The team just can't seem to hit, and the bullpen, there's no room for error when your team isn't scoring any runs.
No, for anybody.
Yeah,
for anybody on the mound. It's unfortunate to even try to pitch like that because it's already hard, especially in the bullpen. I mean, they're pitching well, but like when you go out there constantly and you have to be perfect, you're going to screw up eventually. And I mean, they get all the blunt. I mean, if it's a 3-2 game and they let up a run, like, yeah, it sucks, but like, hello, this offense should not be scoring 3 runs. They should be scoring 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, let's be a little honest. They should be. I'm putting that in quotations here. They should be. They haven't done it very often. It's it's just constantly playing from behind and I blame it more on the offense than the pitching, honestly. Because listen, everything changes. If you go out and score 1 or 2 runs, I don't think you're seeing starters giving up 3-4 runs in one inning. I just don't. I think everything momentum-wise changes in a game. Is it going to happen sometimes? Yes, obviously. I just feel like it's just easier for everybody if the offense just does their freaking job. And it's just like they wait. Sometimes they wait too long.
Well, and that's the other thing. Today, Ward led off with a single. Gunnar walked. You have first and second, nobody out. And then Alonso, I didn't see Alonso's bat. The inning was over fairly quickly. Turned the game on, and Cleveland was already batting. I was like, the game just started. You know, it was Jonathan Rodriguez grounded into a double play. You have your 3-4 hitters up, and they don't even get the guys over. Let alone get them in. It's a serious problem. Now we're talking about the pitching, and how do you think the pitchers feel? We've sabotaged Rogers from VT Raven. We sabotaged Rogers and Bradish starts with infielders missing fly balls in the outfield. Do you think that the pitchers feel some kind of way when they see the lineup card and they see that they've got Blaze Alexander playing center field and Weston Wilson playing left field? Do they feel like when they saw Jorge Mateo?
They can say they don't all they want, but they do.
When you know that you don't have, and I wonder if they feel some kind of way. Maybe they're trying to be too perfect because they know how bad the defense is behind them.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that kind of blows my mind is Craig Alvarez is supposed. And look, you can only do so much with the roster you've been given, right? But Craig Alvarez is supposed to be this baseball god, this baseball lifer, just like Stephen Vogt and like the next great manager. And his team is fundamentally flawed. They throw to the wrong base. They Trevor Rogers takes the wrong angle of first bases and miss. And that's so Orioles, right?
Yeah.
That Trevor Rogers goes, it's a ground ball to Pete Alonso. He flips it to Rogers. He catches the ball and oversteps the bag because of the angle that he took. And that guy ends up scoring. He gets to second base. He gets to second base, goes to third on a fly out by Quan, and ends up scoring on a base hit. And you're just sitting there and you're like, you knew what was going to happen. You knew that as soon as that he didn't get that out on a routine play at first base, that the guy was going to score. And that's the other thing is that the Orioles don't make other teams pay for these mistakes.
Yeah.
The other team always makes the Orioles pay for the mistake, but the Orioles, I don't know if they're just trying to hit home runs like you said. They're watching hangers right down the middle of the plate, looking for that fastball, and then they're not getting it. The entire team, Pete Alonso looks like, how did this guy earn a paycheck?
I can tell you right now. So I'm just flipping through Baseball Savant here, and I just filtered it. Runner on second, no outs and 1 out. Like it's typically where you try to move a runner over. The Orioles are striking out 31% of the time, with no
31?
outs or 1 out and a guy on second. So they're not doing a job at all. I mean, with no outs, we'll just filter it to no outs. They have a 32% K rate and a 105 average. They are 2 for 19 with 7 strikeouts.
2 for 19 with
2 for 19
strikeouts?
with a guy on second base and 0 outs, which you would think is okay, right? Because you want to hit the ball to the right side, you want to move the runner over. You're not giving yourself up, but you want to give up that at bat to hit a ball to the right side. You would think that's okay, right? But a 32% K rate, I'm sorry, it's not. You're not doing a job. You're not doing anybody a job there.
Not putting the bat on the ball in those situations is the worst thing that you can do. That and popping out to the catcher.
Yes.
It's like have a team at bat. Go up there with some kind of approach and think to yourself, my job isn't to score this guy. My job is to get this guy over so the guy behind me can score this guy. Play team baseball, and they aren't doing it. Everybody's trying to be the hero, it feels like, and nobody's doing it except for Jeremiah Jackson. And look, he's going to slump at some point, just like Taylor Ward is going to slump at some point. Leody Taveras is going to slump at some point. And then what are you going to do? Gunnar is in a terrible slump right now, and so is Pete Alonso. And look, your offense is averaging 3 runs a game. Gunnar is headed to under a 200 average. He's going to be fine. But
he better figure it out soon.
Yeah. Look. Somebody was saying, that was people were talking about Basayo. They were talking about how poorly Gunner's been hitting. Gunner was hitting 179, I think it was, on May 12th of 2023, and then he ended up winning Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
He's gonna figure it out. Basayo, he's gonna figure it out. But right now, it's April 19th. We've spent the last year and a half watching bad Orioles baseball and ineptitude from the offense, and then the same thing is rearing its ugly head, and it feels like the sky is falling. It feels like the world is crumbling around us because they're doing exactly what they were doing before, and it's a matter of time before there could be something to the fact that all these guys are cold at the same time. Maybe they'll all get hot at the same time. But I do have an issue with, not an issue, but I do think maybe it's time to change things up with the lineup.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you pointed this out, so I'll let you talk about it. But Pete Alonso has no protection.
No, none.
He has no protection behind him. It's constantly Calzer or Basayo or Beavers or Jonathan Rodriguez. He has a bunch of unproven and never will be guys by like Jonathan Rodriguez. Is he really ever going to be anything at a big league level? Do we do like he's mashed in the minors? Maybe he will be. Maybe it's way too early to write that book on him. But right now, he's not the dude that should be protecting Pete Alonso in the lineup.
Yeah.
You have Taylor Ward batting first every single game, and he's tearing the cover off the ball. Why not?
But
bat
he's not
him
lifting
forward?
the ball either, though.
He did today. He had a loud fly ball to center, and he hit the 3-run homer.
Yeah.
So maybe bat him fourth. And that's the thing. You don't need him to lift the ball. You need the threat of him putting the ball in play and getting base hits and getting on base.
Yeah.
Because the guys behind Alonso aren't doing it. And you suggested batting Gunner behind Alonso. I'd rather have Gunner bat second, Alonso third, and Ward fourth, and maybe you bat Beavers in the leadoff spot. But I'll let you take it.
Yeah, I tweeted on the 16th, so it's been a couple days now, but it said Pete Alonso's reached base 27 times this year via hit or walk. All combined hitters behind him are 4 for 27 after he reaches base. 2 for 13 after he walks. So guys are just pitching around him, knowing they get the next guy out. So I said, should Gunner hit in front of Pete? But he just has no protection. Right? They can either, one, go right after him with a ton of curveballs, or just throw it out of the zone and hope the guy chases it. Mm-hmm. And sometimes I don't think they really care. It kind of, figures out on the moment kind of thing. But how they attack him, I don't know. I think injuries probably deterred who was going to lead off this year. And they're kind of just scrambling to find something, because Ward's done it a little bit, Gunner's done it a little bit, but it's not really working at all. Mm-hmm. I mean, we saw the first 3 innings. I read the stats out. They're pathetic, and they've tried both guys. It doesn't matter. No one in that top of that lineup can hit before the 5th or 6th inning. It's terrible. I don't know. I mean, I said it early in the year, and it probably didn't make sense to a lot of people, but I liked Adley Rutschman leading off. And, having somebody behind him, and then Gunner in the 3-hole, Pete in the 4-hole, Ward in the 5-hole. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, when you're looking around this lineup, who's really even producing at all? Like, Beavers is okay, but he's not a leadoff hitter right now. He can barely catch up to the fastball.
I feel like he's in a bad slump right now.
He's a very bad slump. And, I mean, you were hoping to have some protection with Kobe Mayo. No. Basayo, just as bad. Basayo's been borderline pathetic this year.
Yeah.
For what he was expected to do. I mean, the dude, and I pulled this up earlier, and I sent it to my buddy, and I have to try and find it again. I texted my buddy Alex. After Gunner and Westberg, everyone who's come up from AAA cannot hit a fastball. And I need to find this text because I pulled it all out to him. But it's embarrassing almost. Now, I thought it was embarrassing. League averages, so this is pitches above 95 miles an hour. League average is 240, which I feel like is a little low, but I mean, there's a lot of people in the league too. But again, Gunner's hitting 340 with 11 home runs in his career against pitches above 95, which is great. Beavers 316 with 1 home run, which he's kind of the outlier here. Westberg 280 with 7 home runs. And then it starts to fall off. Jeremiah Jackson 250 with 5 home runs, just slightly above league average, but I think that's probably a good spot for him. Basayo 210 and 3 home runs. Holiday 205, 3 home runs. Calzer 186, 3 home runs. You're talking about a guy who only hits fastballs. That's really not good to see. And Kobe Mayo has now dipped below 170 in his career with 0 home runs over 95. That's not a big league ball player, in my opinion.
I thought it was interesting that they showed a stat today. Kobe Mayo against left-handed pitchers who throw fastballs 92 or less. He's hitting 316 with 2 doubles and a home run. Like, that's the caveat, that they have to throw 92 or below. And I know lefties tend.
There's a reason why they pulled that.
Right. It's like we have to show some kind of reason why this guy is still in the lineup every day.
Yeah.
You know, when it comes to Colton Cowser, there's something going on with him, man, because he's
got a 37% K rate since last All-Star game.
37% K rate. He has 1 extra base hit this year, and it was like a bloop double down the left field line. He's not hitting for any power. He's getting infield hits, and he's getting like ground ball singles. When's the last time you saw him hit a ball hard?
It's been a while.
You know?
It's been a long time.
Now we're talking about
I think it was the changeup in like game 3.
Now we're talking about a guy who is 2 full years removed from his best stretch of his career. The first couple of weeks in April in 2024. Right? He's 2 full calendar years removed from that. At what point do you say, look, man, you got to go down to AAA and you've got to figure it out?
I think it's right now. And look, I've been on record to say I thought I had full 100% confidence in Cowser this year. I think you got to go.
He's a head. I think he's a head case right now. I think Basayo's a head case, and I think Kobe Mayo's a head case. I don't think it's that these guys don't have the ability. I think they're absolutely clueless. I think they are absolutely clueless and have no idea what's coming. They have no idea how big league pitchers want to pitch them. And so they're just going up there hoping that they get their pitch. And if they don't get it, they're going to look stupid.
Yeah. I agree with you.
That's all I'm seeing from them right now. There's nothing that suggests that they have any clue what the opposing team is trying to do to them. And it's so blatantly obvious to the rest of us. You know, like it's...
So Raymond Burrows on YouTube just said, when is it fair to see Bradfield? All you hear is concerns about his hitting right now, but is him hitting 210 hurting you right now? I don't know. I mean, the thing with Norfolk, and I try to always kind of like pause expectations a little bit. Norfolk, the International League it's a straight up hitters league. The ball flies at everything. So that's why we always see our guys coming up with tons of home runs, inflated averages and whatnot. The ball flies out. Our pitching ERAs are always astronomical. It's a tough to gauge, but I mean, Bradfield right now has got a 755 OPS and 45 at bats. Not a ton, but I mean, he's got 2 home runs and he's got 7 RBIs. I'm pretty sure outside of Taylor Ward, that's leading our team. Now, I'm not saying he's going to do that in the big leagues, but I'm just saying like production has been better than people are giving him credit for being a littler guy. He didn't play today. I mean, I don't know. I think, and somebody else said it too, a little bit about like his chaos. Bradfield's going to bring chaos. What is Tampa doing right now? Tampa's bunting the hell out of teams and beating it out, and they're playing good defense. What does Bradfield bring? Speed, the ability to bunt, play great defense. Like, if I have to see Lodi Taveras in right field and Bradfield in center field, I'm feeling a hell of a lot better about my outfield defense at that point. A hell of a lot better.
And it's crazy because I didn't think Leody Taveras had a shot at making this team. And then he makes the team as a 4th outfielder. Now he's been one of the most consistent players, and he actually plays good defense. If you give me, Taveras and Bradfield, and I don't care where you play them, you're going to keep playing Ward in left field. You're going to keep doing that, and hopefully he just becomes steady. I think that with him, the situation with Ward, why it looks so bad is because he didn't know whether he wanted to dive or not, and then he did this halfway thing a few different times and looked at. When he missed that fly ball the other day, and instead of going for the ball, he went to pick up his hat. I was like, "Oh, are you kidding me? Did you see that?"
No.
He finally decided to go into a full layout dive for a dying base hit in left field. He missed it by a foot, and he trapped
I did see
it.
That. Yeah.
And then it bounced in front of him. He got up and went back for his hat that flew off his head, and you see Gunnar sprinting after the baseball because Ward went to go pick up his own damn hat instead of the ball.
Yeah.
But look, if you give me Bradfield in right and Leote in center, or the other way around, I would much rather see that and see some small ball and see a weak ground ball to the left side go for a base hit than watching Blaze try to play center field. Weston Wilson try to play left field, and Jonathan Rodriguez on that first fly ball the other day on Wednesday that should have been caught, and he looked like DJ Stewart. He looked exactly like DJ Stewart on the ball that should have been caught, like he had no idea how to get there.
Which is funny is because the reason why Juwenski Noel's not here right now is because he can't play defense. But yet you brought up a guy who hits home runs and can't play defense. Why wouldn't you just bring up a guy who had major league experience?
Right.
I didn't understand that. Unless maybe their scouts are saying that he can play defense. I don't know.
Yeah, I have no idea, man. I think they brought him up because he mashes so much in
Juwenski
AAA.
Noel doesn't?
Yeah. This guy's hit, 60-plus home runs the last 2 years? Last three, something like that?
I think Noel was doing that prior, too, wasn't
he? Yeah. This is Mayo and Cowser got to go to Norfolk. The more they play, they take any value they have, if any. Not to mention, I'm beyond the idea that you can trade them for anything.
Yeah, you're not.
Zach, I told you in the offseason after 2024 that was the time that they needed to trade Colton Cowser because he couldn't hit anything but a fastball, and after that stretch where he was amazing the first 2 weeks of April, he hit 180 the rest of the year, and I said they should trade him now because somebody will give up a mint for him. Because he just hit 24 homers and he played Gold Glove caliber defense out there at two different positions. Somebody will give you a bag for Colton Cowser, and then he can be somebody else's problem. 2 years later, or a year and a half later, we're sitting here. He's still our problem, and now he's untradeable. Now he's completely untradeable.
Everybody we got is.
Yeah.
Literally everybody.
Yeah. It's here's another great question. Do all teams do a punt lineup usually on Sundays, or is it only the Orioles? The Orioles have done this for as long as I can remember.
I did see a couple different fan bases today complaining about their punt lineups. I think one was Houston, and I think one was the Mets.
Well, Houston's 8-15, and the Mets are on an 11-game losing streak.
Yeah.
It's like...
Hey, listen, the Orioles didn't have 2 walk-off wins. They're, 7-game losing streak?
Yeah, that's true. That's... ugh. Golly, man. What do we do to deserve this in Baltimore? Like wasn't 2023 supposed to be the beginning of, this amazing new era of baseball in Baltimore? And then you get through the first half of 2024 and you're feeling... Not even the first half. You get to, June 20th. And you're feeling great about things, then they fall off a cliff, and they've just
we
never
were
come
feeling
back up.
Electric in the early halves of 2024. Electric.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that series against the Phillies?
Oh my God, man!
It all went downhill after that series. After Kyle Bradish got hurt,
they touched up Zach Wheeler for 8 runs in the first inning.
Yep. And then Santander hit the game-tying home run, game 2 or something like that. They ended up losing that game, but still, just electric series, and it's just been dog poop ever since.
And that's the thing. They still went on. Then they went to New York, and they took 2 of 3 or 3 of 4, including that 17-5 drubbing where they beat Luis Heel.
Yeah.
And you're feeling, and then they had the game, and this is what started a 7-game losing streak. They had the game against Houston, where they were down 14-3 in the 8th inning.
Yeah.
And they lose 14-11, and they had the tying run in the on-deck circle.
Yep.
In the 9th inning. And
Santander had 2 home runs that game, right?
Yeah. I had a show the next morning, and I proclaimed that the Orioles were the best team in baseball. I was like, look at how, that game, they were down 14-3 in the 8th, and they almost came back and tied that thing up. And it was the first of 7 straight losses. They were 6 games under 500 from that moment on. After I said that, I blamed myself. Anytime I talk good about this team, they immediately shit down their leg. Mm-hmm. It's absolutely absurd. It's also absolutely absurd if you missed anything from Glenn Clark Radio this week, including conversations with Darryl Strawberry, Steve Johnson, Ryan Spilboroughs, and more. You can find them in the Glenn Clark Radio Weekend Review feature at PressBoxOnline.com. And as always, watch or listen to GCR every Monday through Thursday at 11 a.m. at PressBoxOnline.com/radio, or right here at PressBox's Facebook and YouTube pages. Orioles going to play Kansas City. Kansas City's pitching really well. They're not hitting really well. They're sub 500 right now. Are they sub 500, or did I hear that they've been playing well?
It's like 715 or something like that.
Yeah, not a good ball club. But they're going to be facing
Yeah, they're
Bubic
7-15 right now. They've lost 7 straight. So that means they'll probably sweep us.
Yeah, but the Orioles won't get swept. I don't.
I hope not.
I don't.
You better knock on wood.
Yeah, I don't. I don't think that they'll get swept. But I mean, they're going to lose Game 3 because they're facing Chris Bubic and they can't hit him.
Yeah,
they absolutely.
He's been
hit
rough
him.
this year, hadn't he? Or no, it was Reagan's. Reagan's has been rough.
Yeah, Reagan's has been rough. I know that the first 2 pitchers that they face. This was supposed to be the soft part of the Orioles schedule, and you talked about last week that like some of these teams are actually pretty good. Maybe this isn't the tough part of their schedule, but like, look, you got Boston coming up, and they're looking to bounce back, and they could really use a game, a series against the Orioles. You got to play the Yankees coming up. You got to play Seattle, who's looking to get back after a tough start. I was on Full Count Chaos the other day, and he asked me if I thought that this team was still a playoff team. And I said, no, the way they're playing right now, they are a 500 team at best. And that's hard for me to say because they have so much freaking talent on this team. Now, look, maybe they get healthy with Rutschman and O'Neill coming back and Kittredge and Aiken coming back for the bullpen. Maybe they do make a crazy move and bring up Bradfield and demote Kowser. You know, maybe Westberg comes back at the end of May and he can play some second base and DH for you. Maybe, you know, this little bit of a rest for Jackson Holiday is exactly what he needs. He starts tearing it up at AAA and then he's
better
back.
Start figuring out how to hit in AAA first.
But listen to all the maybes. Listen to all the ifs. You know, what if...
To be fair, though, every team in baseball has the ifs, but it definitely seems like the Orioles play with their ifs a hell of a lot more than everybody else.
Absolutely. And I think that's the point that I'm trying to make is like last year, Mike Elias went out and he got Charlie Morton and Tomoyuki Sagano and tried to sell us all on these are gifted pitchers and yeah, maybe they're a little bit older, but you know, there's a reason we gave him $15 million. And he tried to sell us on Tyler O'Neill and Gary Sanchez. And then if these guys all take a step forward, these young prospects and this young core takes a step forward, nobody's taken that step forward. Is our young core just really not that good?
It's very possible. Like, extremely possible. Like, we've been waiting how many years now? And only really Gunners kind of step forward. Like, Westberg's shown flashes, but you got to stay healthy to be considered, like, truly taking that step forward. Beavers looks promising so far. I would say he's struggling. Basayo, just it's downright ugly right now. Mayo, downright ugly. I don't think you can sugarcoat that at all. Who else has come up after that? Holiday. I think you could, I don't want to say downright ugly, but I think you could say, I think above ugly. Above average ugly.
I mean,
like I don't know what else the word to even think of that one.
A 242 average and a sub 700 OPS as your full-time second baseman last year, that's pretty ugly.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he's young and he could get better, but like, and I understand this is his spring training right now, but I would like to see a guy that like absolutely obliterated minor league pitching in 2024 to come up and like force all the fans to cry for him, goes back down and can't hit anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like I understand you had surgery on your hand, but like you're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like it's concerning to me a little bit. But I've been concerned in spring training numbers before and been proven wrong. So maybe it's different. I don't know. I would just like to see just a little bit of life prior to coming up. But it's been nothing. It's been nothing. It's been out of organizational players that are playing well right now outside of Gunnar. Jeremiah Jackson was an out of organization guy. Taylor Ward, out of organization guy. Pete's scuffling, but out of organization guy who's had some decent moments.
Tavares,
yeah. O'Neill was hitting well at the beginning of this year prior to getting hurt, but I mean, yeah. I mean, out of organization-wise, pitching-wise, not doing too good right now with Bassett and Baz, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
Well, and Tyler Wells had his best game today. Tyler Wells looked really damn good. He 6 up, 6 down, 5 strikeouts, including making Jose Ramirez look foolish. That's the reliever that I thought Tyler Wells was going to be to start this year. Yeah. You know, and if he's finding that's going to help your ball club. But again, you've got to get to that point in the game with a lead, and you're not doing that.
No.
Even the games that you won, you're not reaching that point in the game with a lead. You're scratching and clawing to come back at the end of a ball game. Like I.
So Holiday was 2 for 4 today with a double in Frederick. So that's encouraging. I would hate to see a guy go back to single A and go 0 for 4.
Yeah, that's high A. But you know what?
Yeah.
You get him down there, maybe because it's keeping him closer.
Well, no, yeah, they were home. They were home this week, and then Norfolk comes back home on Tuesday, I think it is, or Monday or Tuesday. So he'll just go back down there for that.
Yeah, and maybe it gives him confidence, making some solid hard contact and getting an extra base.
Yeah, guys still throw 95, 96, 97 in single A. Like it's not like these guys are only throwing 92, 93. So like guys still hum the ball, you just have no idea where it's going. It's just a little different.
Right. If it's you, what are you doing to mix things up going into Kansas City? Do you think they do anything? You think that they stay status quo? Because right now it ain't working.
I think they're going status quo, but I would revamp the whole lineup somehow. I don't know how, but I would find a way to get me a different leadoff hitter. I'd find a way to give Pete some protection. I'd find a way. I mean, they did it today, but I'd find a way to keep Jeremiah. Ride the hot hand right now, man. Ride it hot. We've seen it. 2023 Jorge Mateo, April. These things happen. You got to ride the hot hand while you got it. Don't just keep him down in the 9 hole. If he's going to keep driving runs in, like let's move him up into a position to actually drive some runs in, and until he cools off, and then you put him back down in the 9 hole. I mean, stop playing guys out in the outfield that don't belong out there. If you need to bring in guys that play outfield, please do that. I mean, yes, Jonathan Rodriguez plays outfield, but like I just looked at the numbers. Joenski Noel's a head and shoulders better player than Jonathan Rodriguez, and he's younger. So I don't understand that one whatsoever. But yeah, I mean that's what I'm doing. I'm doing the little things right again. And right now this team kind of sucks with the little things.
Give me Leote in center and Beavers in right. I feel like I haven't seen Beavers in the outfield very much at all.
It's probably because he's trying to work on catching the ball.
Yeah.
I didn't say that out loud, did I?
I mean, if you didn't, I would, right?
It's been a rough go. It's been a rough go for some guys, especially defensively.
I don't understand how you have big league ball players that can't track a fly ball. I mean, did you see Blaze's route to that fly ball in center? Leote, if Leote's playing center field today, it was a ball that was smashed off the wall to drive in the run after the error, after the Rogers error, smashed off the wall in center field. And Blaze was running back, and he's running over his right shoulder looking up, and the ball was over his left shoulder. So instead of pivoting the hips and just turning the head, he turns inward to switch to his left side to go over his left shoulder. You played a lot of outfield coming up, right? So you know what I'm talking about. The way that he shifted to go after the ball instead of doing what you're.
You only do that when you're basically under it. Yeah, you got to turn the head. Yeah. But if a guy doesn't know what he's doing, like he may think he's turning his head, and all of a sudden he's take 2 steps to the left at that point, and then he's way off. So if he's not comfortable with it, I understand it. But if he's not comfortable, he shouldn't be out there.
Right, and that's the whole point, right? Is you have guys out there watching Weston Wilson try and track that fly ball that.
I've seen somebody say their grandmother could have caught
that. It's not an easy play.
It wasn't an easy play, but it was an easy play for I would say a replacement level outfielder.
For a big league outfielder that should be out there, that's supposed to be out there, that ball gets caught. That ball is caught 99 times out of 100. It's not an easy play, but it's a play that needs to be made. And the way that he ran after that ball, he was terrified. Mm-hmm. He hit that warning track and got alligator arms. Like he reached out like this to try and catch that ball. So what the hell? Is this not plugged in? Can you take over for a second? Because I think my computer's not plugged in. I don't want it to go.
Yep. So I mean, going back to what you were saying with the change and stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'm looking at Dylan Beavers. Reason probably why he's not playing right outfield right now. He's 4 for his last 36, with just 1 RBI and 10 strikeouts. I mean, hitting 143 over his last 14 days, not that great. They could be working on something. So, just instead of having him overthink it in a game, it's just kind of sit him on the bench right now. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know how you fix it. The injuries don't help. The the excuse for him is annoying at this point because it's been a couple of years, but they don't help. You've made the adjustments to bring in some other players, but they're not helping either. So like, I don't know. I don't want to sit here and trash them too much. Like, it's not like they're completely look like crap because they're playing good baseball in the later half of the games. It's just the beginning halves that put them in a hole that we're all complaining about, I think.
Yeah, it's and look, the infield defense has been pretty solid. Gunner's a good shortstop. Jeremiah
Kobe's
Jackson's
been playing a great third base, honestly.
Kobe's playing a great third base. Pete Alonso's been playing a great first base. Jeremiah Jackson has really locked down second base for this team, and he keeps moving up further in the order. Would like to see him walk more, but like the when he makes contact, the power, the damage is undeniable. It's strictly this outfield defense. It's the offense that's just getting off to these slow starts and putting your team in a hole where your pitcher has to be perfect, and they haven't been perfect at any point. I mean, you haven't. The best start that you've gotten for your team this year, Trevor Rogers on opening day, and Cade Povich in his start before he got sent down.
I think Chris Bassett just went 5 with no runs the other day, right?
Right, but he walked 4 guys and struck out 2.
Yeah. I mean, look, at least he didn't give a run this time.
Yeah, and
take it what you get, Paul.
And I'm pretty sure they won that game. They ended up winning that game, but he didn't factor into the decision.
That was the one, the grand slam in the 7th inning, right?
Yeah.
And then we came at okay.
Yeah. And look, they almost did it again today. It was 5-0 in the blink of an eye, and then when they scored 4 runs in the 5th inning.
Yeah.
And then the Orioles came back at the top of the 6th, and they scored 4. Mm-hmm. They scored 4, and then it was the 4th inning. It was the 4th inning. They score. They go up 5-0. Then the Orioles come out in the top of the 5th. They score 5, or they score 4 to get to 5-4, and then Trevor Rogers immediately gives up a leadoff homer to Jose Ramirez. By the way, I don't think it's a coincidence that the one game that the Orioles won in this series was a game where Jose Ramirez had 5 plate appearances and was walked 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's certain guys on every team that are the one dude that you can't let beat you. He's the guy for Cleveland that you cannot let beat you, and you let him beat you all series long. Like, it was like back in 2017 and then 2016 against the Red Sox with Mookie Betts, and 2017 against the Yankees with Aaron Judge when he hit 9 home runs that year.
I think it was Torres. Torres had 11 against us that one year, or 13. I don't remember.
It was
it was before the wall. But I'm pretty sure Gleyber Torres was why the wall was moved.
But Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres, and they were like, just get them out. You just get them. Like the pitching isn't good enough to get them out. So don't pitch to them. Just don't pitch to them.
Yeah.
Don't pitch to Jose Ramirez in today's ball game. Just don't do it.
I thought Dean Kramer had a good start. It was just one bad pitch.
It was one bad pitch, and it was magnified.
Did you see the replay? It looked like Bassiah went like this to step off real quick, but it was like 3 seconds on the pitch clock, and he just threw a fastball.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I thought, too, because I was thinking in my head, like, I'll sit there on the couch as a former catcher, and I'm like, all right, throw this guy this, throw this guy this. And I thought to myself, throw a fastball here. The dude sat on fastball. Mm-hmm. And I don't think too many guys would have sat fastball there. Not in that count. Not after what he was doing, having him foul off, chipping away, chipping down, chipping away, busting up and in with a fastball at 94, 95, and he sat on it. I was like, good, man. It's just a good piece of hitting, too.
I saw the swing. I was working at the restaurant, but I saw the swing, and he got his hands in. He found the barrel.
He did.
Because that pitch was high and tight.
He guessed high fastball, and it was right.
Yeah, and he absolutely torpedoed it. But I think Kramer's been pretty good each of his first 2 starts. To be perfectly honest with you, just some bad luck and one bad pitch in the other start. Which, if you don't score, it doesn't matter. So that's just the situation there. But today's show is brought to you by the latest edition of Press Box, which is available now. On the cover, Bill Ordine looks at what will be different at the 2026 Preakness at Laurel and the future of the race when it moves back to Pimlico. Also inside, Luke Jackson looks at what Trey Hendrickson brings to the Ravens and much more. We'll be on the lookout for the new print issue for free at your Baltimore area High's dairy stores, and also read it at PressBoxOnline.com. Today's show also brought to you by County Sports Zone. sportssports.zone. We're well into spring sports season at the high school level, and remember that all year you can find scores, schedules, and updates for every sport in every school all throughout the state at countysports.zone. Countysports.zone is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. There's a comment here. A lot of people, I'm starting to jump on this bandwagon myself. Simple solution, fire Elias. He's the common denominator. Your thoughts on the idea that maybe he's partially or mostly to blame for this?
I just don't know. I really don't know. I see the sides that the arguments that people make, and I don't disagree with them. I've seen some of the players that he's brought in, and the guy, I don't even know if I want to talk about it. I put something out on Twitter, and Lockenfor commented on it, and basically saying that, like, I said that it was a reply to somebody basically saying, like, Mike Elias isn't the guy that's been hyping up our prospects. That's been Baseball America, MLB.com, MILB.com, and other sites like that. They're the ones putting our guys in the top 100 list. It's not Mike Elias. It's not like the Orioles could just pay these guys to put their guys in there. And he basically said that, like, Mike has those guys around the ringer, like, kind of gets what he wants out of them. It's all in their back pocket kind of thing. And I don't agree with that. Like, Mike's brought in a lot of talent via the draft, and that other evaluators thought were top 100 players compared to everybody else. Mm-hmm. We're doing something right to get these guys on these lists. Where we're failing is getting them over that hump to be good big league players. That's what I don't understand. Like, Mike is giving us a lot of talent, and it's not being developed. Now, yes, that part may also be his fault because he's not bringing in the right people in place to do that. Maybe. Or maybe we just keep getting fooled by guys that everybody else think is really good. I don't know. I really don't.
That can't be the case.
I know.
Right? It can't be the case. And I don't know.
Maybe our advanced scouts aren't very good. I don't know.
It's confounding to me because everybody had Rutschman as a top 2 pick. Everybody had Gunnar.
They had him the best hitter in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't even a question. Adley Rutschman was the best hitter in the draft.
And
you take that as a catcher. You take that all day long.
Everybody was high on Gunnar Henderson and Jordan Westberg. Like, there were comps to Trevor Story about Jordan Westberg. Enrique Bradfield, not so much. Heston Kjerstad, not so much. Colton Cowser, again, I mean, it is what it is. The guy can't hit. How did he get taken 5th overall?
Because he could. And he flew through the minor leagues hitting. And he was in the top 100 list for a reason because other evaluators thought that he was damn good. Like, what are we missing? Mm-hmm. Why can't we get these guys over the hump? VT Raven says these guys are a bunch of 4A players. Why? That's the question we need to ask. It's been 3 coaching staffs now. It's not coaching. Mm-hmm. Is that Mike Elias' fault? I can't say yes to that. I can't say no to that either. I could say yes or no. I don't know how to answer it, to be honest with you.
We can win with the lineup we have right now. The problem is the lineup is not correct for what they do, and more important, to protect each player. And there's something to that. I think that there's a lot of guys that are. But the other thing is, I think, and it goes back to this, you are depending too much on inexperienced players right now. You're depending too much on Kobe Mayo, and Mayo's that inexperienced label. It's running out. He was up here most of last year.
400 some plate appearances now in his career.
It's running out. But Basayo is still 21 years old. Beavers just came up last August. Like, they both are still rookies. Yeah. But you're depending on those guys. And who am I leaving out?
That's what I'm afraid about Enrique. Like, he causes chaos, but you're relying on another rookie.
But that's the thing, though, is that you're not relying on him. You're not bringing him up to be the savior of the franchise. You're bringing him up to inject anything into this. Like, if all he does is play great defense and steal the occasional bag, by the way, he has no stolen bases this year.
Two.
Did you know
he just got 2 last night.
Oh, he had 2 last night?
Yeah.
Okay. He had none.
I think that was by design.
You think so? To keep him, to keep his legs healthy?
Mm-hmm. Because he's had a lot of hamstring issues, and then when you hit that wall, and he had a little bit. Was it ankle was bothering him a little bit or something like
It was his
that?
wrist. It was his wrist.
Okay. I think it was by design.
But also, yeah, you're probably right. Cold weather. Hey, let's take it easy. Once it starts to warm up,
Yeah.
we'll unleash you a little bit.
Yeah, buddy of mine
That makes
talked
sense.
to Josh, their hitting coach, and where they started the season, it was like 29 degrees.
Really?
That's just stupid to play baseball in. I would not tell anybody to steal base in 29 degrees.
Yeah. I mean, you saw what happened to Austin Hayes. Tore his hammy up chasing that fly ball in Chicago when it was 36 degrees outside. So I think that there's something, and part of me did think, like it was like probably 8-10 days ago, I was like, he still has no stolen bases. Are they telling him not to steal because of the injuries? But like I was like, well, why did they tell him? But it makes sense, you know, if it's because of the cold weather, they'll probably look, as soon as it heats up, those muscles aren't so tight and you're loose. Take as many bags as you want.
Yeah.
But it's you wouldn't be calling him up to be the savior. You're calling him up to solidify some outfield defense, to make a guy think twice about pitching around you, or not pitching around you, but not throwing you strikes, you know, to try and get you up. Because if you start taking pitches and you get on base, you know what I mean? Like, it's just something to infuse something, not to be the savior. And hopefully it lights a spark for other players. And hopefully it lights a fire under somebody like Colton Cowser, who has been coasting off of 3 weeks for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, I mean, Bradfield also brings a different element that kind of nobody even talks about either. The threat to steal typically runs into a fastball or a slide step or something that a pitcher is really not comfortable doing in that moment. And it could change a lot. It could change a Gunnar Henderson or Taylor Ward, whoever's leading off, into getting a fastball if you hit him in the 9-hole. Or, you know, if that guy gets out, all of a sudden Pete Alonso gets a fastball that maybe he shouldn't have, you know, on a 0-1 count or something like that, in a running count. It changes the dynamics. This team doesn't run enough. They don't bunt enough. They don't play enough small ball.
They don't get on base enough to do any of that.
Well, that's
stuff
the
either.
problem too. But even when they do, like, you're sitting there and you're looking at it, you're like, okay, Gunnar should go here. Oh, Gunnar didn't go. Okay, Gunnar should go here. Gunnar didn't go again. You're just looking at it like, why is he standing there, getting great leads? I mean, I've seen a few times in different camera angles. These guys are getting great leads, not even flinching to steal. What the hell are you taking that big of a lead for then?
Right.
Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it.
And I've also seen, like, oh, well, you know, Pete Alonso's up. Well, Alonso's hitting 200.
Yeah.
He's got 2 home runs. Well, Taylor Ward's up. Taylor Ward's got 1 home run. Like, take the bag. Take it again in the scoring position. You know, put yourself in a situation where you don't need a gapper to score somebody with 2 outs. You know, or with 1 out, you don't need a base hit to somehow get that guy over. Like, it's just, I really thought that this team would play more small ball, play more fundamentally sound baseball, and just play more aggressive and intelligent baseball. And right now, watching them play, somebody says it's like watching the Bad News Bears. It's like legitimately, it's embarrassing sometimes to watch this team and how bad they are at the fundamental stuff. They're just a fundamentally unsound ball club right now. And I don't know how you get 26 guys at the major league level that don't know how to catch a baseball.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it.
Or miss a base.
Yeah. And like, look, I'm going to start winding this thing down because the last thing I wanted to do was get on the show and talk negative about the team for an hour plus. Yeah. And it's basically all we've done. And like, look, it's bad when it's April 19th and I'm not looking forward to doing a show. You know, like I love talking baseball. I love doing the show, but like they've been so hard to watch this past week. Why would I want to sit here and talk about them? Yeah. For an hour plus, you know what I mean? So like
that's fair.
I think that like we need like a breather. Take a second to be like, all right, this has sucked, but it's also only April 19th. You know, and as bad as they played, they're 10-12. And they're still in 3rd place because the rest of the division isn't running away with things. The rest of the American League isn't running away with things. Like the Astros are 8-15. You know, like if we can find a silver lining here, everybody except for like the Braves and the Dodgers are off to a slow start right now. The Phillies are 3 or 4 games below 500. Everybody is off to a slow start right now. Weather's going to get more consistent. Your regimen, your routine's going to get more consistent. You're going to get some guys back. You know, and then you won't have to depend on Dylan Beavers batting 4th for you.
Right.
You know, I'm
the
not
guy
a big
who
fan.
led off in the minor leagues is hitting 4th.
Yeah. A guy who has 77 career at bats is hitting fourth for you because he hit 30 home runs last year at AAA.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, like I really don't get that. Like 115 career minor league home runs. Joenski Noel's got 137.
Mm-hmm.
Younger guy, plays the exact same style of defense. Not the fastest in the world. Gets to the ball, catches what he's supposed to. Like, I don't get it. He wasn't on the 40 man. Now Rodriguez, you had to add the 40 man, but like, why not just like you had to get rid of somebody to add Rodriguez? Why not Big Christmas?
Right.
Big Christmas is going to put a good swing on the ball more times than not.
Yeah.
And he's going to swing and miss, but I mean, Jonathan Rodriguez he's done his job at times. He's done his job. That sac fly he had it was a good at bat. He hit that ball very hard. I was proud of that. I just don't get it.
What do you think about Will G's mock lineup here? I don't love moving Jackson up into the top 3 because it's really all or nothing for him.
Yeah.
Like there's no.
Yeah, you're basically replacing all or nothing right now with another all or nothing.
Yeah. And Tavares, I think he's earning more play. I think he's 100% earned more playing time. I think he's earned the right. Do you bat him higher in the order because he does take better at bats?
I'd lead him off. Why not?
Yeah.
He's a switch hitter. He solves a lot of problems. He sees a good amount of pitches too.
He does. He takes solid at bats, and I'll say that for the most part, I feel like Jackson does see a fair amount of pitches.
Yeah.
I feel like you see him in a lot of deep counts, but he's never willing to just take ball 4.
Yeah.
But
he's a dude who wants to hit, which I mean I respect, but
yeah,
I want to see him try.
And that'll change a little bit as he progresses in his big league career. But right now, I mean, he's hitting better than anybody else right now. But for me, I'd have Gunnar batting second still, and Alonso third. But I would 100% put Ward fourth. 100% bat Ward fourth, so that you're protecting Gunnar and you're protecting Pete. Because like you said, 4 for 27. The guy's behind Pete Alonso when he gets on base. 4 for 27.
Yeah.
Nobody is scared of the guy behind him. You've got to make something happen.
Yeah.
Got to make something happen.
So Tavares, Tavares has 46 career games at leadoff. He's a .210 hitter with 12 walks and 60 Ks.
Ooh.
Yeah. But, I mean, it seems like a different guy right now. He hasn't done it since 2021, so I don't know. Nothing else is working, so I'm willing to try it.
He's playing the best that he's played since about 2021.
Yeah.
So
I'm willing to try it.
Today's show has been brought to you by Leading Edge Auto Body. Your car is more than just a ride, it's an investment. At Leading Edge Auto Body in Mount Washington, customer satisfaction comes first. Their team holds the highest honors in the industry, including ASE Master, iCar Platinum, and specialized aluminum certifications. And they make it easy with free towing, pickup, and delivery. If you want to find out more, simply go to leadingedgeautobody.com. That's leadingedgeautobody.com. Zach, usually we go a lot longer. I don't think I have it in me today, man. Anything you want to add before we get out of here?
No, I just hope something comes around soon.
Yeah,
we're all looking for something to be the blame and try to fix, and I think that's natural. But
do you think that the biggest reason for blame right now is the injury bug?
It's not helping the lineup, but I don't know.
It's
you would have to think that big league players would give you a better chance to score runs than minor league players.
You have to think that Pete Alonso hitting in front of Adley Rutschman will get Pete Alonso better pitches to hit than hitting in front of Dylan Beavers or Jonathan Rodriguez. You know,
because they know they can. Even Basayo, they know they can get those guys out. They're still young. They haven't figured anything out yet. Go after Pete hard, and then you pretty much have another out.
You don't have to throw those guys strikes to get him out. You have to throw Adley strikes to get him out. 100%.
Yep.
Final thing, is Rutschman getting activated tomorrow? I don't know.
They said he might need a rehab, but they haven't said a whole lot about it.
So I imagine.
It's been 10 days. It's not a while, but it is kind of a while too from seeing live pitching. Like
this early in the year, yeah. But I mean, you kind of knew that it would only be 10 days when the injury happened.
Yeah. So, now, if he's taking like live at bats, like pregame, then sure, like don't send him on a rehab. But like, who's pitching live too? Like that's what I don't get. Unless it's like a taxi squad guy or something, but I don't know.
All right. Striking out 10 times a game. They struck out 12 times a game. 48 strikeouts in that 4-game series against Cleveland. Tuesday, I think he says, I think Tuesday. Will does. VT Raven says Tuesday, I think is earliest. We'll see. But it would be nice to get him and, believe it or not, Tyler O'Neill back in the lineup so we can have some actually formidable big league hitters with a track record. But all right, that's gonna do it for us on. Somebody just said Rutschman is soft. Well, whatever. That's gonna do it for us here on the Bat Around today. A little bit of a shorter show than general, but we need a reset here. So thank you to all of our sponsors. Without you, we don't have a show. Thank you to all of our loyal listeners, viewers, fans. Without you, we 100% do not have a show. Hopefully, next show will be